Chief Mapie states that on the 15th of August, he delivered to you a letter of intent to institute proceedings against the city regarding the precious stones theft allegedly committed by members of EMPD who were reporting directly to Brigadier Mkhwanazi. When I delivered it to her, she challenged me on the fact that the letter does not make any reference to Brigadier Mkhwanazi, and neither does he appear in the attached pictures. She suggested that I was persecuting Brigadier Mkhwanazi and was biased towards him and threatened to suspend me with immediate effect. She immediately corrected herself and told me that she was actually suspending me with immediate effect. I have just read paragraph 104 of Chief Mapie's statement. My first question to you is, did you see the letter that, the letter of demand that Chief Mapie references regarding alleged theft of precious stones by members of EMPD who report to Brigadier Mkhwanazi?
Thanks. I need to correct the fact that he came to me on the 15th. He came to me on the 16th, where I raised the issues I've raised. The report about the precious stones, we found it in the bundle, and also in the bundle from Mapie and them. He himself never discussed this with me. And for me, it's fabrication of information that I ask him, where's Julius? I mean, if there's a suit, 45 million litigation against the city, as an accounting officer, I must be worried and do something, rather than looking for a face of some junior official.
And this letter of demand is annexure 24 to Chief Mapie's statement. If you could turn to that document, please. Chief Mapie's annexures, annexure 24. Page 112. 112. And for the record, it should read JM24. It should be marked JM24. This is a letter, a notice, in fact, in terms of Section 3 of the Institution of Legal Proceedings against Certain Organs of State, Act 40 of 2002. The subject line reads, Peter Jacobus, Prinsloo, versus the Minister of Police, that's the first, the Ekurhuleni Metropolitan Municipality and the Ekurhuleni Metropolitan Police Department. You see that. I see on the face of this document that it bears 3 stamps. The first being the Ministry of Police against the address of the Ministry of Police, and I read that to be confirmation of receipt of the letter. It's then followed by the Ekurhuleni Metropolitan Municipality, and once again it bears a stamp of the Metropolitan Police. Then, there's a stamp of Metropolitan Police, although slightly misplaced, because the third party is the Ekurhuleni Metropolitan Police Department, and there is a City of Ekurhuleni received stamp dated 15/08/2023. This is the claim for 45 million and complaint against certain members of EMPD who acted unlawfully, with the result that a citizen in Killarney was robbed of a certain quantity of precious stones. The first issue is, besides the unlawfulness of the act, is the fact that these members were acting outside the jurisdiction of Ekurhuleni municipality, being in Killarney. As a consequence of their actions, the city is now facing a claim, a potential claim of 45 million for damages. You confirm that your office received this demand, letter of demand?
Yes, we received this. My office did receive. Maybe I should explain the process. Any summons that the city receives, because some of them are urgent and whatever, they go directly to the HOD legal, to the legal department. Obviously, the summons went to the department from my office to the HOD legal to assist us to defend the case because they have panel of attorneys.
Although we're not talking about a summons here, I take it you considered the content of this document and in particular noted the importance of the allegations in that members of the seat EMPD, which is part of the Ekurhuleni Metropolitan Municipality, not only undertook unlawful acts out in the public, but did so outside the jurisdiction of Ekurhuleni. I won't pose a question, I'll make a suggestion to you that ought to have been an exceptionally disturbing state of affairs. Was it equally disturbing to you?
Agreed.
And it came to your attention?
It came to my attention, but not through the way Chief is alleging.
Did you engage Chief Mapieye on the content of this very disturbing notice?
As I indicated, ma'am, that the process, when we receive summons, my PA urgently takes the summons to the corporate and legal. She records them and take them directly to corporate and legal to defend.
But these are not summons. This is not a summons.
It's a letter of demand.
Yes.
And
the contents of which you became aware?
I became aware because it was served in my office and it was sent to corporate and legal.
And I'm asking whether on becoming aware of the contents of this document, did you take up this exceptionally serious issue with the Chief of Police, Chief Mapieye?
Chief Mapieye, remember I indicated that I took the document straight. The document was taken straight to corporate and legal. We never had a chance of discussing this thing with Mapieye because for already is a letter of demand that needs legal attention. Because if we do not address the letter of demand, we'll get summons, litigations, and so forth. Because in terms of letter of demand, the litigation is about 46 million, which is concerning for the city and concerning to me as an accounting officer.
You seem more concerned about the value of the demand and less about the conduct of EMPD officers.
It's incorrect, ma'am. I agree.
You agree that you are more concerned about the 45 million?
No.
Okay. Sorry, the dean coming from next door interfering with my hearing. And hence my question. And my question is premised on the assumption that this is not a daily occurrence. It ought to have come as an absolute shock to you. And I want to understand from you whether it was sufficiently shocking that you demand that Chief Mapieye engage you on the contents of this notice. Was it that shocking to you? Or you thought it is an issue that could be discussed in the course of time?
For me, there are two things. It was about the serious misconduct of his officers. Two, the issue of the city being dragged into this, and the issue of, in terms of the issue of litigation. So hence I'm saying legal documents, and I'll reiterate again that I cannot interpret legal documents. If there's a letter of demand or summons or whatever, they will go to HOD Behar. I wouldn't waste time because immediately I want to sit with a report like this in the office, and there are a lot of reports, and wasting time in terms of letter of demand or summons and whatever. I've been summoned to different courts within Gauteng where issues of this nature have actually happened. The misconduct, the briberies and so forth, and lack of implementation of awards and so forth. So I really don't want to waste time. I did not want to waste time.
I appreciate. But I'm more interested in the content, what you did with it. As you can see from page 117, attached to the notice were pictures, color pictures. Unfortunately, the copies we had ever black and white, so it is difficult to make out who is who in those pictures. But Chief Mapieye testified that the original was forwarded to IPID and that those pictures are in color, and that in those color photographs, members of EMPD are easily recognizable. What I want to engage you on is not about how you treat summons. It's about how you treated this issue vis-a-vis the chief of police. It is concerning to me that you didn't even bother to have a conversation with him.
Thank you, ma'am. Did you ask the same question because he is the executive CEO of the department? Did you ask him that question? What did he do about this?
Yes, I asked
because
him.
it has nothing to do with the accounting officer. He has a function and powers from the SAPS Act that he must discipline, he must do 1, 2, 3. He's given those powers, and we discussed those powers at length this morning, that he is empowered to do 1, 2, 3 in terms of the SAPS Act, to discipline members, to do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And I think it's a bit unfair that these questions are now posed to me while he failed to do his duties as an accounting officer of the department or as an executive director in terms of the SAPS Act.
Okay, it was, and you recall I read from his statement where he said, according to this document, it's got a date stamp of the 8th of August, 2023, which is the date on which the EMPD received it. Your office received it later, actually, on the 15th. And on the 15th, he came to your office to discuss this document and show you, according to him, the problems being experienced and illegal acts performed by members of EMPD. And rather than engage with the contents of this document, you took issue with him that he appears biased towards Mkhwanazi, where in circumstances where Mkhwanazi is not on any of the pictures. That is his evidence before this commission. So yes, we did engage him on that.
I did not engage him on that. I indicated that I had a meeting with the chief on the 16th, not even on the 15th. And the issues that I raised, it was about the dysfunctionality of the department, not even this. So I will request, ma'am, that the responsibility of dealing with issues lies with Chief of Police. He was supposed to be asked questions, what did you do with the document? Because in terms of the act, he's the one who's supposed to take action against the misconduct of his officers.
I agree with you. And yes, that's a conversation we've been having since morning regarding his powers. What we are discussing is slightly different, which is the concern by the chief of police and the concern by the city manager about the contents of that document. And you appear not to have any concerns regarding the contents of that document. So much so that you confirm you didn't initiate a conversation with Chief Mapieye about what's stated in there, and you suggest that neither did Chief Mapieye.
I reiterate that Chief Mapieye was supposed to take action on this particular document. My issue is for summons and ensure that the city is not litigated. But I take your point that he failed to do his duty, not mine. It is not my responsibility to discipline junior officials.
And it is not your responsibility, then I take it, is it a proper interpretation as to what members of EMPD do? It's not your responsibility, and neither is it your concern. Do I understand you correctly?
My concern, like I indicated, the reporting lines, the Chief of Police reports to me. The subordinates, whether it's managers, executive managers, in terms of the legislation, they report to him.
Yes.
And he ought to have taken steps against this misconduct.
So then I must accept that if this team of people, or even more, all registered with EMPD, went around the province killing people at will, it's not a matter that will perturb you. And any failings by the Chief of Police to take action against those people is a matter to be left at the Chief of Police's doorstep. And you should never be engaged on such matters as a city.
I should be engaged. Remember,
at what level and when?
Remember, Chief of Police is like in terms of the questions from this morning, it's like I'm personal with him. There are a lot of labor issues in that department, too much.
This is crime issues, doctor. It's not labor issues.
No, let me finish,
Okay.
ma'am. Can I be allowed to
By all means.
talk
By all means, I
and be
apologize.
free? There are a lot of labor issues, there are a lot of misconduct issues, and there are a lot of criminality issues in that department.
Yes.
And as I indicated that we appoint HODs on the basis of their strength, especially around qualification and experience. And we believe at that point when we appointed Chief of Police that he will turn around the department and ensure compliance and deal with all the criminality that is that is happening in the department. We thought he would do that. But it cannot therefore be my sole responsibility to enforce that. Chief ought to have enforced that all members are actually vetted, and all members who actually are found to be wanting in terms of criminality are actually dealt with, including iPad.
Can I?
Yes, Commissioner.
Can I just maybe test this? Chief Mapiaye reports to you in the same way as Mr. Sheka reports to you. You receive this notice of intention to institute legal proceedings. There's an amount involved, but more importantly, there's allegations of criminal conduct from members of the EMPD. Surely it's not good enough for you. It cannot be good enough, and please say if you disagree and why. It cannot be good enough that you say, well, Chief Mapiaye is the one that was supposed to institute disciplinary proceedings. I took this demand and I sent it to legal, and that's the end of my role. He's your direct report on a serious matter of criminal conduct, such as serious and huge financial exposure potentially to the city. I would expect my city manager to ask Kasheka, are you aware of this? I want a report. If Kasheka is the right person, and from what you're saying, it sounds she's not even the right person, but somehow she gets involved in Mkhwanazi'S matters. But I would expect at the very least that the city manager who receives this notice says to Mapiaye, I want a report. I want to know what you're doing about these criminal people that are in our system that have gone and robbed someone outside jurisdiction. And I'm concerned that your attitude is, well, he's the boss. If he didn't do it, don't look at me. Surely that he reports to you means something. Do you want to comment?
Yes.
Yes.
Can I comment by saying that in the morning we discussed his powers that he reports directly to council in terms of the SAPS Act and his responsibility to discipline members. And there's no way where it says the accounting officer must discipline members, including the systems of delegation. It is actually delegated to him. So I did not follow the discussion during his testimony as to whether such question was asked to him. What did he do with this? Despite claiming that he had a meeting with me to show me the pictures and whatever. That for me is still an allegation, and he must confirm it. The onus is on him to confirm that he did have a meeting and he indicated this. This report, it's an official report. It is with legal to defend the city. The issue of discipline still lies with the Chief of Police.
What does it mean? Maybe let's go back to basics. What does it mean when you say he exercises his powers inter alia, subject to your directives? Well, what does that mean?
Remember, we discussed that fact that the council has appointed him as the head of policing.
Yes.
And I argue that in as much as he's appointed, we need to read the SAPS Act in conjunction with the Systems Act as well as the systems of delegation. So if he fails in his duties, obviously, as an accounting officer, I need to deal with it.
Yes.
I need to deal with it.
Yes, and you're
But in
saying,
this-
sorry, carry on, sorry.
Yeah, okay. In this particular matter,
Yes.
he did not discuss this thing with me. He never had a meeting with me on the 15th of, I forgot him,
August.
of
August.
August.
Yes.
I only had a meeting with Chief of Police on the 16th, where we discussed the dysfunctionality of the department. That such things, some of these things are some of the things that came up from the members, that we have this and this and this, we do not have tools of trade, we do not have this. That's why I had to call that meeting and address some of the things.
Okay, I'm really dealing with this limited issue. You receive a letter or a notice to institute legal proceedings. It claims about 45 million from the city. It alleges criminal conduct on the part of your employees. They are employees of the city. They're not Mapia's city. You're the CEO, you've told us. So they are your employees. They are accused of criminal conduct. Your testimony, as I understand it, is, well, I did my part. I forwarded this to legal, and that's the end of my involvement. What happens discipline-wise with these employees, it's not my issue, it's a Mapia matter. I struggle with that when you say he's accountable to you, and you don't seem to hold him accountable for this. And then you come here, you say, well, he didn't do anything about it. The question is, well, why did you not hold him accountable for this? And it seems your answer is, well, it had nothing to do with me. I am concerned about that.
Well, maybe it's an oversight from my side that I did not pursue him to actually, I mean, I have so many HODs, I can't be sitting on one person. And for me, I accept that it's an oversight for not making him to account.
Thank you.